Guys and gals, welcome back to the Green Light. It's been a while, and it's been a while for a reason, guys. Since the last time I posted a video, I've gone through my own spiritual growth, you could say. And I have been going through spiritual growth ever since I went through my initial awakening, which happened to me around my birthday last year, 2019. So I was just about turning 29, and I, was going through a lot of business things. It was really business stress that just piled up more and more and more and more. And it took me to a point where I felt like I couldn't handle it anymore. I called my sister, broke down to her, and I just wanted out. I wanted out. I don't believe I was suicidal. I was more so, I just want to be done with this. Like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be doing this anymore. I just want this all to be over. But it's such a sticky situation that it's the type of situation you can't just leave. You have to see through it. I've been forced to see through it. There's no quitting for me. And, it's not some type of thing where I do a little startup and, the startup fails and I can gleefully be like, oh, well, it failed, I guess that's it. Let me go work at McDonald's, It's more so if this fails, then, and I have to work at McDonald's and then getting out of, the debt, getting out of, all the strings attached to the business would take the rest of my life, So when you're so deep into something to where it's like you have to continue, you have no choice but to continue, no matter how bad it looks. Your mind shifts into a different position, right? And that's what happened to me. I knew that I couldn't get out of it. I knew that I had to face it somehow, but I didn't know how. And at the same time, I wanted out of it, and I knew there was going to be no end. And that loop of thinking eventually erupted into me, in a sense, losing myself, just letting go of everything at some point. And that's when I awakened. And I didn't know at the time what was going on. I didn't know what an awakening was. All I could do was describe the feelings that I felt. I wish I had taken note of my whole entire experience, because it was just a roller coaster of thoughts about what the hell is happening to me. So I didn't know anything about spirituality. I mean, aside from like growing up in church, like I knew about, Christianity, because my parents are Christian and they grew up in the church. And so I grew up in the church, but I never really took it seriously. And, really like read the Bible and did all that stuff. I never really took any spirituality seriously. I always described myself as agnostic, like, that I feel like there is a higher being, but I don't know, who the being is, what religion is right, anything like that. So when I went through my awakening and I'm trying to figure out like what's going on, what are these feelings that I feel, and not feelings in the sense of, I guess there was an underlying anxiety there, but it was more so a curiosity of, why do I feel this way? What's happening to me? How do I describe how I feel? And if I had to try to describe how I felt, it was just like a weight lifted off of my shoulders, a huge weight lifted from my shoulders, and a connectedness with everything around me. So I felt as if everyone that I saw was me, or I was them, and they knew who I was. Even though they might not have ever seen me, I might not have ever seen them in my life before. I felt as if I knew them. They knew me. We were the same person. I remember one morning I walked outside and everything was just beautiful, just magnificent looking, just glowing. I got in my car and I was driving with the utmost bliss, feeling connected to every car that was driving on the road. I felt like every car was me, and I was every car. I don't even know. It sounds silly. I know it sounds silly, but it's just how I felt. I just felt happy, joy. connected to everyone and everything. I'm saying all this to say this, guys. There's a fundamental aspect of spirituality. And I feel like over the years, it's probably become convoluted in such a sense that people are using some aspects of spirituality in selfish ways. And I have actually fallen victim to this myself. I had lost touch with that base of fundamental spiritual enlightenment. So what really helped me reach back to that place was realizing that a lot of what I was doing, even though it was working, right? I was manifesting the things that I would visualize. But for some reason I felt as if I'm manifesting, right? Why do I still feel why is it so hard? Right? Why is it still so hard for me? Like why do I still seem to struggle? When you do awaken, right? It's hard not to observe your thoughts. It's actually impossible not to observe your thoughts. But what is possible is for you to neglect the observation of your thoughts and to allow those thoughts to fester for longer than they should. So it's kind of weird. It's like you understand that you're feeling some emotion that's stressing you out, right? Most of the time it's fear. Most of the time it's some projection into the future of some scenario that you're creating that you believe will happen. And that induces fear, that induces stress. Your mind is creating that. And that's where a lot of the anxiety comes from in your life. You're afraid that if this happens, then this will happen, then this will happen, and then this will happen. And none of that has happened, and none of that is happening at this very moment in time. And whenever the time comes that something does happen with the situation that you're thinking about or projecting into the future, that thing will be much easier to handle than you think, and a lot less like what you predict it will be like. But the thought is just so daunting of what could happen that it just eats you up, and it consumes your mind, your being, and you're wrapped up in it, and you can't let go of that feeling. It's too strong. So the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is it's not about manifesting. It's not about manifesting your dream woman, manifesting your dream house, your dream car. Spirituality is not about manifesting money. You can manifest those things through, certain spiritual principles. But once you manifest those things, if you're not actually practicing just being aware of your thoughts, being aware of others' thoughts, recognizing thought patterns, and escaping from destructive thought patterns that will keep you in the loop of stress, depression, fear, anxiety, then you're not really winning. Now, that's not to say that people that are caught in those loops aren't winning, but the people that are seeking spirituality by means of manifestation only, there's something far greater than that. There's something far deeper than that and more rewarding than manifesting money, manifesting whatever, Manifestation comes naturally. When you're in the state of awareness, it's much easier to manifest things because you're not wanting. You're just being. And when you come from a place of just being, without attachment to greedy thoughts, selfishness, anger, rage, jealousness, the path to that manifestation is unhindered by the natural human inhibitors, which are the natural negative emotions that weigh down your consciousness from being free. So guys, moving forward with the videos that I make, I'll be focusing more on the awareness that can set you free from the struggles that you face, the stress that you face, the anxiety that you face, as opposed to manifesting things into your life that you desire. When you're practicing just being and not wanting, you'll be able to relieve yourself from the things that weigh you down, that you think manifestation will cure. I hope that makes sense, guys. Stay tuned for the videos I have coming. when I feel compelled to make them, then I will, and I'll post them. And I hope you guys enjoy. Keep those green lights on. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.